Alrighty, thank you for coming to watch this video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about quite a few things on this video. One thing we are going to talk about first is AMC. First, we're going to talk about AMC dilution. There's a vote coming up. Most people have already voted. You had to own AMC stock before March 11th to vote. As long as you did, go look in your spam folders, look for that email where your brokerage should have sent you an email about how you want to vote for this upcoming stock shareholder meeting. And so I'll talk about the dilution and the vote and what it all means and what you should think about it and what the YouTubers are saying and basically the shills. All the YouTubers are becoming shills, telling you to give AMC all this money and they don't need it and they don't deserve it. Not yet, at least. So definitely think about that. The next thing is AMC dilution is the first thing. The next thing is understanding options profit. So you had to have watched all of my options master proof video to understand this next part that I'm going to talk about. If you haven't watched that, you're not ready for this video. Go back and watch that and then come watch this video for like a final education course on one thing that I didn't really cover super well in that video. But now can explain it better today. And then aside from that, I'm going to go over what my current bank account is, and then I'm going to go over the possible strategies that I'm considering I'm moving to, which still includes at least keeping 50% of my money or 40% of my money where it's at right now. So if you're invested where I'm invested, like know that I don't hate that investment, but I do feel like I need to get a little bit more leverage on my money, and I'll go over what that means. And then the last thing that I'm going to explain is after we make the money on the AMC, I'm going to show you how a small amount of money, if you find a small market cap stock that has very, very cheap options, you can buy the options and then gun the stock and make a fortune. And I'm going to show you how that would look. I don't know exactly how much money we need. And so I'm not an expert when it comes to stocks and how much they move based off volume. But Warden Elite is somebody who's been helping me out. And he seems to have a good idea about how to calculate something like that and to help me find the perfect stock that we are going to gun. And so in these examples that I've gone over in my videos, I've gone over Nokia, this other one I do MIK. It doesn't really matter which one we choose. We just got to choose one of them. And then we just got to get that stock price up at least 100%. Maybe 200% or 300%, depending on the option and the option pricing and the strike price and all that good stuff. So that's what you're going to learn in this video. At the end of this video, I'll be happy to go over any questions you guys have. Right now, it looks like we got 62 people watching. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and check it out. Can't wait to have... All right, guys. So here is what we are looking for. Let's start with AMC dilution. All right, so on the AMC dilution, right now, today, there's currently 450 shares. The price is currently $10 per share, which means there's a market cap of $4.5 billion. I said 7x was the PE ratio, but the PE ratio is 4.5 divided by 0.65. So yeah, right at 7. I was right on the money. So that's the PE ratio. Basically, right now, the company's valued 7 times above what their best year of 2018 earnings was. And so I expect 2020 to be, or 2021 to be at least as good. Maybe 2022 finally is at least as good as AMC's best year ever. And so their best year ever, at 650 million, like basically we're going to show how strong the AMC company is right now with their shares. So aside from the 450 million shares that exist today, there are 63 million shares that AMC has already authorized previously before we started the Reddit revolution, where basically they can issue 63 million shares in any manner they choose right now. And so if they issue those 63 million shares, they could pay off $630 million of debt. They could give themselves shares as a bonus. They could give it to their employees. Like they got 63 million shares they haven't even issued yet, which if they issued all at once would in theory hurt the price by about 10% and drop our $10 stocks down to $9 stocks. Okay. So right now retail owns 88%, institutions own 12%. And everybody, when this vote thing came out, everybody, all the YouTubers said, vote no on dilution, vote no on dilution. So I think we've already won this vote. I'm not worried about May 5th. I think when we win that vote, our stocks go, like our stocks are going to skyrocket before them. But I also feel like if not, like that will be a great time for it to skyrocket. It's showing when we come together. But immediately after, number 6 on the resolution of the list that you were voting on, number 6 is to bring up the resolution again at a later date with potentially a new number. And so basically, if you say no to the 500 million shares, which they're asking for. So right now they're asking for 500 million new shares. If you say yes to that, then basically it cuts our ownership from 88% down to 39%, and it gives the institutional 61% ownership of AMC, where right now we own 88%. And so why would you just give them 500 million? Well, right now they're telling you they need it so they can expand their business and they can pay off their debts and all this other stuff, right? Well, check this out. So we've already done you won't find any article that says they got more than $10 billion in debt, okay? And so the article we found that it goes over their debt pretty well, explains how much debt they have, and then they explain when the debt is due. And so basically 1 billion of the debt is due from today in the next 2 years. 2 billion of that debt is due in the next 3 years. So 2024 is when it's due. And then 7 billion of the debt is due 2026, okay? Right now, they have 1.2 billion in the bank. Right now, they have 630 million in shares they haven't even issued yet. So that's actually 1.8 billion in the bank. So they can actually cover 100% of their next 2 years in expenses right now today and still have $1 billion in the bank. So that means the next 2 years of profit, $650 million, they would actually have $2.2 billion in the bank in the next 2 years if they paid off all the debt that they needed right now and reduced their bank account down to 0.2 billion and didn't spend any of the 600 million in other shares they haven't authorized. So now they're at 2.2 billion when this 2 billion is due. So they can pay all of that off. And now they got another 3 years to go pay off the 7 billion. And of the 7 billion, 1 billion of it's convertible. So they basically got 3 years to worry about $6 billion of debt, right? And they're making $650 million. So that'll be about another $2 billion that they got to worry about $6 billion of debt. Well, if your company is easily worth 5 times what you're making, which is $3 billion, if you have $2 billion in the bank to pay off your $6 billion of debt that you owe at 2026, you really don't think someone's going to refinance AMC? You really think they're going to say $6 billion or bankruptcy in 2026? You really think I care about what AMC is going to do in 2026 when we're talking about a fucking squeeze? So my biggest problem about all of this is Trey Trades is the biggest AMC supporter on the YouTube, and he told everyone to vote no. Now he's saying he did the wrong thing, and he's considering voting yes the next time this bill comes out. And I'm telling you that is full of crap, and he is a shill. And that he is trying to give AMC money as a cash grab and to reduce. Basically, if you open up these 500 million shares, aside from gutting out do you think AMC is more valuable when retail owns 88% of it, or more valuable when the CEO owns 60% of it? Answer that question. When the CEO and board own 60% or when retail owns 88%? I personally believe it's when retail owns 88%. So besides adding the 500 million shares to cut your value in half, turn your $10 stock into $5 stock, or if the hedging manipulation, if it should be at 40 right now you're only going to make it to where it's only going to go up to 20 because you just cut your value in half. Whatever the real price is of AMC right now, cut it in half if you vote yes on this, okay? So, and all that money goes straight to AMC. All that money is going to be CEO bonuses. So that is AMC dilution. That is why we are not interested in this whatsoever. Like, if they need money, they can tell us what they need the money for. They can tell us how many shares it's going to take to get that money, and then we can vote on it. But they do not say, give us 500 million shares, give us back ownership of our company, and then we're going to tell you what we're going to do with our $5 billion, because they're not going to pay off the debt. I'll tell you that much. No company pays off the debt, even if they got the cash to pay off the debt. Debt is cheap compared to what they're making. Come on, people. Debt is cheap compared to what they're making. So AMC diluting is not happening. We own 88% of it, and we need to get the word out to all AMCers that we do not dilute our shares. If they want to dilute because they say they need money to keep their business in operating, show us the numbers. Show us where you need the money. Show us why you need the money. Show us if you're going to do something big. If you want to buy a company with more shares, show us what company you want to buy, and then we'll vote on it. But let us research the company before we vote. We don't want to just trust you. Who the fuck are you? I don't fucking know you. I've been going to AMC for 20 years, and I've never once known the CEO of AMC. Exactly. Never Been Tendy says it's a lot easier to lean on one person. So if you put all the power on the board and the CEO, it's a lot easier for Democrats to go threaten all those people and say, you better freaking dilute more shares. You better be like Nokia and go to 4 billion shares. Oh, man. So that's AMC dilution. That's YouTubers. All the YouTubers are trying to shill out on us now, and they're trying to tell you to vote yes and give AMC more money. AMC does not need your money. Trust me. If we are in this for the stockholder's trying to get paid in the next 1 or 2 years. We are not trying to get paid in freaking 8 years from now. So anyone talking about AMC's future 8 years from now or the $7 billion of debt due in 2026 can freaking go shove it. We don't accept shills in the chat. We will ban you. Talk about AMC's debt one more time, and I will ban you from my chat. At least talk about AMC as a negative aspect of their debt. Because if I look at their debt, like I wish I owned this company. Please give me this $10 billion of debt as long as I get the income with it too. Please give it to me. Where do I sign up for this debt, please? They say it's going bankrupt. Please sign me up for it. I will take the fall of the AMC. Like if it's a guarantee already, why not just give it to me? Come on. Oh, man. All right, guys. So I think, like, you guys agree, that's all we got to talk about dilution. Have I missed anything on dilution before I move on to the next thing? Anything else I need to mention? Next thing. Okay, here we go. So that's AMC dilution. Next thing, we're going to go back to options. So this is the part where if you have not watched Options Master Proof on my channel already, this is not going to make a lot of sense, but sucks to be you. You should have watched the video like I told you to. So I went and I got the AMC option prices today for the $20 strike, the $30 strike, and the $40 strike at the June expiration, the 2022 expiration, and the 2023 expiration. What I've basically I saw this the other day, but I wasn't sure what to think about it. And I've just been thinking and thinking and thinking, trying to make it make sense. And now I believe I have. But basically, if we go into an option, let's just say $35, and then we calculate, it goes to $35. So we want this to be $35. We go to calculate. Okay, so this is saying that you would make 62x on your money at $35. Okay, guys? You make 62x on your money. But here's the thing. What's that saying is you have a ask price of $3.17. Well, that may be closer to the truth because this is only like a 50% ROI. But on stocks that like hit 100 to 200% ROI, the implied volatility gets so high because of the suggestion of where the stock could go now based off a stock just going up 200% is extremely high. And so what I'm getting at is if we max out the implied volatility on this guy, and we just say the maximum implied volatility, which we don't know exactly what hits that, but something does hit that. Now all of a sudden you make 690x on your money because you can hit a maximum value of $35 a strike. Or if it's here, a maximum value of, hang on, right here, a maximum value of $33.50. Basically, if you guys look at this, every price that I click on, it's exactly the price of the extrinsic value is exactly equal to the price of the strike, meaning the strike, the stock or the option price can never be more expensive in extrinsic value than the strike price. And so you have to get into intrinsic value to do that. So basically, if we assume every $40 contract in AMC is going to hit maximum extrinsic value, and basically all of the contracts we're buying right now are going to hit $40 ask price, well, what does that do to our pricing? What it does is this turns in, so all of these 20 hits a maximum of 20, all of these 30 hit a maximum of 30, all these 40s hit a maximum of 40. If we look at the ROI, our June 20s profit 20 at 5x, our 2022s do 8x, our 2023s do 5x. Our 30s do 62x, 21x, 10x, and our 40s do 104x, 41x, and 18x. And so right now, if you're in the June 2023 $40 strike, you should be expecting to make about 18 times on your money when AMC hits $40. Now, check this out. I'm not done. Don't get all discouraged if that doesn't make you happy. Bro Cobra, it doesn't matter that that was MLK. I was just showing you an example. It did not matter that that was MLK. I was not going over AMC option pricing. I was going over option pricing in general. So it did not matter what I showed you guys on optionprofitcalculator.com. This right here is specifically AMC pricing, exact numbers. And so basically, here's the deal. Now that I realize this, I don't want to just make 18x on my money, especially now that I realize this. Like, I didn't realize this. I thought I could make 40 to 100x on my money in the 2023 $40 strike because of the way that the money worked in the GME. But now I'm seeing that the extrinsic value actually has a ceiling on it. And I didn't realize that there was a ceiling on the extrinsic value and that there's a floor, and there's a floor in the ceiling. So as long as you buy at the bottom of the floor and you're shooting for the maximum of the ceiling, then you're making just unbelievable amount of money that I've been talking about this whole time. So now that we know that we can do 104%, 41%, or sorry, 100x, 41x, and 18x, basically what I'm looking at doing is putting 45% into 2023, which I already have 100% of my money in here now, right? So I'm going to move 45% over to 2022, and I'm going to move 10% over to June. And basically, if it hits $40 by June, I'll make 37x on my money rather than just making 18x on my money. If you're wondering about your 2023, here's what you got to understand. Had you bought the June options when I told you to buy, you've already lost 70% of your value. And so if you've lost 70% of your value and now it goes up 100x, you're really only getting a 30x on your money. So if you're in 2023 right now and you're seeing this and you want to make more than 18x, you should be like, Marcus, thank you so much for confusing us and telling me to invest in 2023 so I didn't lose a bunch of theta in the June options. But now I can sell my options and now go into the June options. Like, you're very flexible right now because you bought the 2023 and you haven't lost all your money yet. Most of the other people in options right now have already lost their money in AMC. If you bought AMC anywhere from $14, last time it was $14 till now, you're down money for sure. And so unless you bought right before that last 15% pop, there's a couple options that are probably profitable since that. But basically, this is one example that I thought of yesterday of what I could do with my money to get a greater exposure on my gains. And so basically turn my 100,000 into $3.7 million. And I'm pretty happy with that. And so this is something that I look at and it's like, okay, I can be happy with this. But then I thought about something else. And I thought about, okay, I brought up this AMC option expires in 5 days. This AMC option chain expires in 10 days. And this one expires in 15 days. And so what I'm saying is I'm going to pull 10% out of my, instead of doing 45, 45, and 10, I'm going to do 10, 40, 40. And then I'm going to take another 10K and I'm going to put $3,000 into each of these options here. And one of them I'm going to do on the $13 strike for 1 week to expire. And then on the next two, I'm going to do the $27 strikes. And one of them I'm going to do 289 contracts and 202 contracts. As soon as this one expires and the 162 go expired, I either make a profit or I don't, right? But let's assume that I don't make a profit. Then the next week, I'm going to come and I'm going to spend another $3,000 and I'm going to sell $3,000 out of my 2023 or 2022 options. And I'm going to spend another $3,000 on the next week for the 27 strikes for what will be about 14 cents a contract again. And I'm going to keep doing that until the spike starts to happen. And so basically, my $3,000 I put into here, if AMC hits 40, will be worth $437,000. My $3,000 I put into here, if AMC hits 40, will be worth $751,000. My $3,000 here, if AMC hits 40, will be worth $300,000. Basically turning my 37X into a 49X if it hits in the first 3 weeks. And every week that passes, I lose 3X. And so basically I'll go from 49 to 46 to 43 to 40. And so as long as it hits in the next 5 to 6 weeks, I'll still make more than my 37X over here. And so that explains my strategies, the things I'm thinking about. I haven't committed to any of this yet. This is just the stuff that I was thinking about yesterday. I want to explain to you guys today. And so now I can think about it in my own head, and either tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to decide what's right for myself. And I'm going to be like open-minded about it and be calm about it, be rational about it, because we don't need a lot of money. So if there's no questions on this part right here, let me explain why we probably don't need more than 18 to 40X anyways. Let me explain why if there's no questions right here. But let me go through the chats on my YouTube and my Discord and see if there's any questions. It looks like we got somebody typing out a question right now, so we're just going to hang on for a second. Okay, so it says, should I roll a portion of my AMC? Dwan, I haven't made any decisions with my own money yet. I'm still in 2023. If it all goes to $40 tomorrow and I just make 18X of my money, like I'm just going to find a way to be happy about that, right? Like I'll have $2 million in my account. I just got to be happy about that. And then we got to go see if we got enough money to squeeze the next thing. And as long as we do, like we're fine. But on Friday, you're ultimately going to see what I decide to do. And if you decide that you want to copy me, you can go ahead and copy me if you like. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So if we get 18X and that's all we get, guys, let me show you what we can do with 25 million or so. Maybe it'll be 50 million, maybe it'll be 100 million. I don't know exactly how much it's going to be. But think about this, guys. If AMC goes to $40 tomorrow and I make $2 million in my account tomorrow, how many viewers do you think I'm going to get? How many more people that aren't even using their profits are going to be willing to go into our multi-squeeze next thing and sign the honor code, even though they don't have their own profits that they get to like bet the house money with? You guys don't think we'll be able to raise more money? Like, let's just assume that we're going to have enough money to make the stock go up 1 to 200%, depending on the out of percent. Because like, remember when I did Nokia? So when I did Nokia, it was 20% out of the money was a $1 contract with $1 with 1 week to expire, right? So 20% out of the money was a $1 contract. So 1 penny ask price. And on MIK, it was 50% out of the money on a 2023 expiration was $5 a contract. So we're going to assume $7.50 is what we can get each one contract for. And so what I like to think of is if I got 100% Godpill hedge fund here, people on the honor code. So anyone that's watching my channel that signed the honor code that wants to invest with me on the next squeezes, basically, like no one's going to know what company I decide to squeeze until I decide to squeeze it. And what I'm probably going to do is on my YouTube, because I talk about this a lot, I'm going to give a fake company out, say, hey guys, an hour before the squeeze, I'm going to say, this is the company we're squeezing. Come into my Discord if you've already signed the honor code. And 5 minutes before we squeeze, I'm going to like say, okay, or 5 seconds before we squeeze, I'm going to say, go. And then everyone just hit the start button and like, let's put in the money, right? Well, what's going to happen is 5 seconds before, I'm going to say, okay, guys, we're postponing the squeeze 5 more minutes and we're changing the symbol to this one. Everyone go find the strikes. And I'm going to explain just like what I do right now. And you guys are going to be able to go find that strike and you guys are going to be able to invest into there. And then we're going to squeeze that one on the stock. And so nobody bought the options. Nobody bought the stock because we're going to basically fool everybody, right? Like until like basically everyone's going to be in the chat. Everyone's going to be logged in. Everyone's going to be here for attendance. And we're going to say, okay, we told the world we're going to do this stock an hour ago. Now we're actually going to do this stock. We got 10 minutes to buy options. Everyone buy as many options you can in the next 10 minutes on any of these strikes. And I'm going to have a list of 15 different expiration days on the same stock symbol with 15 different strikes, and that we can all spread out on. And everyone just try to find the cheapest strike. All these strikes should be worth about the same, but the ones that get bought the most, the price is going to go up. So you don't want to be buying where other people are buying. You want to be buying where you can get it at $7.50 rather than $10 or $15 a contract. And so basically, we're going to buy as many contracts as we can. 15 minutes go by. Everyone's got their 10% of options in. And then we're going to gun the stock like 60 seconds later. And so it's all going to happen in like 30 minutes, really fast. And so basically, if my group and I make $50 million, we already know we're going to cash out 25 or 50%. Everyone's going to take 50% of their own money. I like to assume that I'm about 10% invested out of everyone. So if I'm $100,000 in, I would assume that out of all my people, we got about $1 million total. And so I got $2.5 million that I'm going to take, and me and my family are going to share that money, and we're going to pay our bills and buy houses and buy cars and be happy in life. The other $2.5 million, I'm going to go squeeze the stock with, and you guys are going to do the same with your percentage of your 50 of the 50 million. So now we got 25 million getting the stock. We got the other 25 million that we all are spending on our own lives. And now here's what it looks like. So if we look at this option right here, here's one example. I found a couple companies like this, but here's one example with a small market cap and super cheap options that basically I can look at all the expiration days and find strikes that are out of the money that have an ask price of 5 cents a contract. So these are the ones that if you fill for 7 cents a contract, they will fill like crazy, right? So that's 9 days to expiration. This is 44 days to expiration. This is 5 cents. This is 5 cents. This is 72 days to expiration. This is 5 cents. This is 5 cents. This is August 21st to expiration. This is 5 cents. These are 10 cents. So if there are no more 5 cents, then go to the 10 cents. This is 163 days to expiration. We got 10 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents. Those are all good. And so basically, if we assume that we want an average of 5 cents per contract, and we assume that the average strike was $30, and we assume that we put $250,000 into there, we assume we put $2.5 million. So 10% of our 25 million that we're going to gun this stock with goes into options. So we bought a total of 333,000 contracts on this option symbol. Now we're going to hit the stock with $22 million all at once. And we're going to assume, I don't know that stock specifically, but Warden Elite's going to help me find a stock where when we do this, that $22 million is going to make the stock go from $30 to $60. And because we bought it the $30 strike, it's actually going to go from $20 to $60. But because we bought it the $30 strike, we have $30 of intrinsic value. So now we have $30 of intrinsic value. We have times that by 100, because each option contract is worth 100. And then we times that by the number of contracts with zero extrinsic value, only counting intrinsic value. And we get the same number that we have over here, which is $1 billion of profit. So we cash out our $1 billion, which came from the $2.5 million in options. And then our 22 million, we can take this $1 billion, go buy some puts as soon as we hit our $60, buy some puts on MIK for maybe a couple $1 million, whatever, $100 million, I don't care. And then cash out, we're going to cash out our stocks the very end of that day. And when we cash out our stocks, it's going to crash. When we cash out our 22 million in the stocks, it's going to crash to $60 back down to $20. And our $20 puts are going to make a fortune. And then we can cash out that fortune. And then if we need to gun another stock to take the rest of the 250 billion away from Citadel, we do that. And then after we have all the money and they stop shorting the market and there's no more opportunities to go do this anymore, then we're going to gun GME and AMC with half of our profits, and we're going to send them to the moon, and they're never coming down because we're never going to sell those stocks ever. And we're going to bless all of our diamond-handed apes. That is the last part of this video. Are there any final questions before I turn off this video, people? My neck. We just got 2 more honor codes. I appreciate it. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Let's see here. Let's see. Somebody says we're going to bamboozle them. You can either just sign with like a screenshot and just do draw on your phone, or you can print it off, or you can do, somebody else did a DocuSign. I don't really care. I just want to see that you put in some effort. Christine has some question with your plan. How can hedges reverse screw us? Hedges cannot reverse screw you. If you have the money to pump the stock, they can't reverse screw you. As soon as you put the money in, it's going to go up. The only thing that could screw us is that the Fed could halt the stock and like just not let us ever cash out our profits and never allow any buying or selling for forever. Like that's the only thing that can happen. And that's why we cash out half of our profits before we gun the stock. But if we cash out half of our profits, if we do the math and we know we have enough money to squeeze it up 100% and make $1 billion, like let's do it, right? And so Warden Elite's going to help me do that. I don't really know much about the borrow fee rate. I'm not really worried about that. I'm only worried about AMC hitting $40. I don't really care about the option pricing right now. Like AMC is going to hit $40. We're going to make our $50 million and we're going to make $1 billion off squeezing another stock. That's all I'm worried about. So like we can try to look into that later when we're not doing this video, but I'm not really too worried about the borrow rate right now. Tony, it's the video. Okay. Christine says, thanks. All right, guys. Well, it looks like I answered all the questions. So I will, wait, let me check Discord one more time. Yep. So it looks like we answered all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If I got to make another video, I will if things change, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this video right here. This may be like some of the final DD research we need before we can just buy in and turn everything off and just go learn to love and enjoy your life. Like unless you're telling people about this and just trying to get more people involved, like really just focus on your family, focus on being happy. Life's too good. We're gonna win. AMC and GME is going to the moon. The diamond handers are real, so you guys should be stoked on it. Like we can be way more. Like we've been broke our whole lives. We can be patient. Like they think they can scare us by saying we're gonna be broke again or broke still. Like get out of here with that. Like they don't know. They don't know what we've been through. We can handle way more than anything they can handle. All right, guys. Thank you for this video. I think this was a really good video, and we will do another one if we need to.